development at Virginia Wesleyan University. And we are honestly able to start a very robust composting program here on campus with this grant. So we're pleased to be able to do that, and we're excited to see where it goes.
Awesome. Thank you. I'll put it. Would the timer be helpful? Will that keep people on track? Maybe. Okay. I'll put it at the top, and whoever would like to go next, feel free.
I'll go ahead and jump in. My name is Aisha Bodenhammer. I'm the Sustainability Manager at Radford University. And I'm sorry I'm traveling today, so hopefully you all can hear me okay. But we are planning to install an in-vessel composting unit. And this is the first time we've ever done this at Radford, so we're super excited.
Awesome. Thank you.
I can go next. I'm Andrea Trimble from UVA Sustainability Director, and we have Dana Schrader here also on the call. I'll just list a few of the things we're doing because it would be great to connect with people that might be doing the same things. We're hiring a full-time food waste coordinator. We are installing more equipment for food rescue, like hot boxes and refrigerators in various locations. We're expanding front and back of house composting. We are employing food waste tracking scanners and softwares in our dining halls. We have Aramark, so I would love to connect with people who have Aramark. And then a lot of things around event support and that sort of thing, student support.
Awesome. Thank you. Whoever wants to go next. Yeah, go ahead.
I can go. I'm just over the mountain from Andrea. I'm Amanda at James Madison University. Our partners, I will say, are our office, the Institute for Stewardship of the Natural World, our Community Engagement and Volunteer Center, our Dining Services, which is also Aramark, our Facilities Management Department, and our Department of Engineering and our community partners. We're extending our dining hall composting through the summers, which is a gap for us right now. Introducing a pilot program for reducing food waste at catered department events, institutionalizing a student volunteer-based food waste recovery program, and expanding a food waste reduction education effort, education and awareness that's in our residential dining halls.
Great. Thank you.
I can go next.
Go ahead.
Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yep. Okay, great. My name is Pedro Puente. I am an assistant professor at James Madison University as well. And the task that we are going to develop in the next couple of years is that we are going to collect food waste from events in the Department of Engineering. We are going to characterize them to find out what is their composition, and then we're going to move it to composting. So we want to know how much is generated in the department due to events.
I'll go next. Good morning, Jonathan Owell from George Mason University, Northern Virginia. Here with, we got Amber, Laura, and Colleen, who are our team here. And with our Subaward grant, we're going to be putting in a dedicated food rescue hub to collect food across campus and be able to repackage it and repurpose it for food insecurity on campus. In addition to that, we're installing an AI system to be able to identify and prevent food waste on campus. And then we're adding critical personnel for our infrastructure campus here to improve and expand our composting efforts. And this will include a dedicated full-time compost coordinator who will address strategic planning and composting and purchasing and making sure that we are reducing contamination and monitoring all of our efforts.
Great. Taylor Brings from William and Mary, and we are doing food rescue as well with installing a blast chiller in our brand new central dining hall in partnership with Aramark. So I'm representing that team.
Great, thanks.
I'm Phil Malillo, the energy manager at Christopher Newport University, and we are going to use our Subaward grant for an in-vessel composter and allow us to jumpstart our composting efforts on campus and help us reach some sustainability goals.
Great.
I will go. I'm Gonzalo Ferreira. I'm a professor in the School of Animal Sciences, and this is a project to increase the food rescue capacity program at dining hall. And also we would build this composting facility to manage those food rescue, but also managing better the manure that is generated in the dairy farm at Virginia Tech, and hopefully this would be a composting education effort through Virginia Cooperative Extension as well.
Great, thank you.
I can go
I'll go ahead
next.
and introduce
Oh,
myself real quick
sorry.
after Gonzalo. Patrick Hill, also at Virginia Tech. We're working together on our project.
Thank you, Pat.
I can go next. Kashef Majid, University of Mary Washington. We're partnering with a local provider of composting services to bring composting to campus for the first time, large-scale composting. We've never had it before, so this is our first foray into it. And yeah, it's great. We're super excited by it. Great to meet everyone.
Great, thank you.
I'll go next. I'm Jennifer Dreyer. I'm from the Virginia Institute of Marine Science. Some of my co-collaborators here on the call are Gina Ralph and Mark Brabham. So we have a compost program that we've already created here in the last couple of years. So we're going to be expanding that program. And we have a lot of focus on composting research fish, because that's one of our projects here at VIMS in terms of getting research fish that can't go back into to the water. And then we are also going to be doing a lot of outreach and education in terms of just composting and sustainability.
Awesome.
Hi, I'm Jane Stewart. I'm the Director of Sustainability at Washington and Lee, and we are launching what we're calling the Full Circle Food Initiative, which is designed to take all of the food recovery and waste reduction efforts that we have in different departments right now and really pull them together in a collaborative, holistic, campus-wide system so that we're all working from the same playbook and maximizing our efforts. So we are super excited to use our grant to fund a fellow position who will help develop trainings for all this interdepartmental work and do extensive data analysis. We are also adding a food recovery vehicle and a compost collection vehicle, as well as a technical review of our on-site campus compost system, because we do it here in-house, as well as support for staff salary and incentives across the different departments that are going to be connected. And we can't wait.
Awesome. I think that was everyone, unless someone from VCU is here. I know I got a message from them that they would be hopping on a little bit late. Okay, great. Just for context, VCU's project is happening on the main campus and also within their hospital system. I can loop back to them at the end of the call once they join us if they would like to share more. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Can everyone see that agenda? Okay. I am going to walk us through this agenda, and feel free to unmute or put questions in the chat. I know that you all will probably have lots of questions, and that is totally okay. And if we don't have the answers to your questions right now, we will make note of them and then follow up with our team at DEQ to get you the answer to those questions. This is also the first time that our team has run a Subaward program. So if we need to follow up with people, we will get you the answers, but feel free to unmute as I go along or put things in the chat. I'm going to start with just an overview of the Subaward program. The Subaward period will run from June 1st, 2026, which is next week, until May 31st, 2029. So it's a 3-year period. For those of you who have a fully signed Subaward agreement, you all can start purchasing on June 1st, next week. If your Subaward agreement is not fully completely signed yet, hold off on purchasing anything until that agreement is signed. We know everyone is at a little bit of a different step in that process. A large chunk of you have your award agreements, so once you get those back to us signed, you will be ready to go. But if you don't have a fully signed agreement yet, hold off on purchasing until that is totally done. In terms of distributing Subaward funding, all of the funding will be distributed on a reimbursement basis. So you all will purchase whatever it is in your approved budget, and then DEQ will reimburse you for that cost. I know that I've already gotten some questions about budget changes or something like quote, not exactly matching what was in the budget. Project budgets can be moved around as long as the money being moved around is the lesser of $100,000 or 10%. So for most of you, that would be 10% of your total budget. So there is some room for flexibility as you are actually purchasing things. And if you ever have a question about that or want to double check, feel free to just email us and we can make sure that the purchase is approved and everything will be squared away properly. As you all go through your subaward implementation, we will have quarterly check-in calls with you all. Our goal is that we will have at least a 30-minute check-in call with each subrecipient group for the duration of the subaward period. If that call needs to be longer, it can obviously be longer. And if you need to meet with us more frequently, that works as well. We also are open to as relevant group check-in calls. So if there are multiple institutions working on very similar projects and it would be helpful for us to all meet and you all to troubleshoot together, we're happy to do that. For right now, we'll probably start with individual meetings, and then as people get a bit further into their projects, we can organize group check-in calls, or we can organize separate, just like networking calls or peer sharing meetings, if that would be helpful to people. Throughout the subaward, you all will be responsible for financial reporting and programmatic reporting. Those forms are included in your subaward agreement, but I will also extract them from the subaward agreement and send them to you all so that you have them in a Word document and Excel file form. The instructions for those reporting requirements are in your subaward agreements. But before we get to the first reporting period, we will organize another meeting with you all to go over what exactly we're expecting and answer any questions and just provide more detail. I know that there will probably be a lot of questions as we get into the first reporting period. So we'll organize a call. And after this meeting, I will send out a follow-up form to get some feedback from you all. The first reporting period will be June 1st to August 31st, with the report due at the end of September. I know that the August 31st range is likely when a lot of students will be coming back to campus and can be a busy time. So I will send up in my follow-up survey a question about when would be the most helpful to organize a meeting and have more question time for the first reporting deadline. So I don't know if that is most helpful at the end of August as the reporting period closes out, or if it's helpful to do it earlier in August. And we can also do multiple meetings if there are times that work for people. Generally, though, your reporting will be on a quarterly basis, and you'll have a month after each reporting period to compile that report. For programmatic reporting, the main thing that we want is just a written update on your progress towards whatever is in your grant work plan or your subaward work plan. And then the financial reporting form will just go over what you spent money on in the different categories during that reporting period. In addition to the financial reporting and the programmatic reporting, you all will also be responsible for reporting on food waste diversion and prevention. That is a requirement that trickles down from our grant with EPA. And all data collection that you all do needs to be done in a manner that is approved by EPA's team in what is called a Quality Assurance Project Plan. Our team is still working with EPA to get that document fully approved. So in terms of reporting on food waste diversion data, no data collection in that space can happen until the QAP is finalized. Our hope is that the QAP will be finalized in the next few months. And our guess was that most of you wouldn't be reporting any diversion information in the first few months of the grant. So hopefully by the time there are students back on campus and you're really getting things underway, we will have that document finalized for you. We tried our best to include checklists in that document and really clear templates so that there is a standard way to measure the programs that you all are doing. that needs to be approved by EPA before we can give it to you all, but we tried to make it as simple as possible while also making it consistent across different projects. And then in addition to that, there are some other EPA requirements that we just wanted to shout out as we are talking about things that need to have compliance. So everyone filled out a cross-cutter checklist. That is the checklist that I sent you all very early, right after you got your award notifications. EPA has all of those checklists and is working through their review of them. No construction activities can begin until you have an EPA-approved cross-cutter review. So as of right now, none of the projects have been 100% reviewed and confirmed by EPA. That being said, you can work on other things that do not involve construction. Most of your projects do not involve construction, but if you have any specific questions about what you are or are not allowed to do during this first implementation period, feel free to reach out and we can help you troubleshoot. I will say on the cross-cutter checklist, oftentimes our team also does not know the answer, and so we then need to send that answer or the question to EPA, but we're happy to work with you and troubleshoot. And if you are concerned about anything possibly being considered construction, just feel free to reach out and we can troubleshoot with you in case you're worried about doing something too soon. But as I said, most of your projects do not involve construction. As we talk about other EPA requirements, we wanted to just include links to Buy America, Build America, which is often referred to as BABA. And we wanted to shout out the Davis-Bacon and related acts. These are both federal requirements that are included in your subaward agreements and generally relate to equipment purchases or contracting costs. There's a lot more information on EPA's website about how to comply with these different acts. And if you have questions or concerns about either of those, feel free to let us know, and we are happy to help you troubleshoot. And then before I open it up to questions, the last thing I wanted to mention, I mentioned earlier that I'm going to send out a follow-up survey after this meeting. And in that survey, we want some more feedback from you all about what kinds of trainings would be helpful as you all start implementation. And then your interest in subrecipient peer network groups. So some of you all attended the meeting that we had at VCU, that VCU organized at the end of April. There were lots of subrecipients there, which was very exciting. But our team is happy to help organize more peer sharing and like networking groups throughout the subaward period. At that meeting, we had talked about having at least one in-person meeting each year, but following that up with other virtual meetings, or we can create like smaller peer network calls, as I said earlier, with people who have very similar projects. Our team has like a peer network call with another state who has a similar EPA grant as to what we are working on. And I think it's been helpful. So if that is of interest to people, I'm happy to help coordinate and organize those. So I'll send out a survey later, and we would love just your thoughts and feedback on what would be helpful. And we can also adjust as you all get further into the subaward implementation period. My other note on training opportunities is in the training opportunities, I will also list a ranking of like which training is the highest priority for you. So we'll probably have trainings over the course of the subaward period. So if there is one or a couple topics that you would like to learn about sooner rather than later on in the period, let us know and we can prioritize the order of those trainings. I know that that was probably a lot of information. Does anyone have questions? I will send out this agenda after the meeting is over. But for right now, I'm going to stop sharing my screen so that I can see you all. Feel free to unmute if you have questions, or put things in the chat.
I was going to ask you to send out the agenda, so thank you. My other question is, if we have for instance, like our composting company, that's an annual agreement.
Mhm.
How do we bill that?
So, you want to know where you want me to go? I will say, like, whatever your procurement process is at your institution, like, it's okay if, like, whenever you pay the bill is when you can submit it to DEQ for reimbursement.
Okay, so it's
So
okay to prepay it.
Already prepaid. I mean, is that how you do it now with your composter? Is you prepay it?
We don't have one. This is the first time
Oh.
we're actually doing a professional company, but they've not built. They've given me a proposal that is an annual contract. So I think if we prepay,
We have an annual contract and we pay monthly after the service.
Yeah.
okay, I'll go back to them.
Yeah. And I can help you troubleshoot if you have more questions about that.
Okay, thank you.
So Sydney, then just to clarify, so the money is not preloaded then? It's like you said, it's just based on reimbursement. So
yes,
if we submitted a year-long contract and we got invoiced each month, we would just then get reimbursed each month from you based on the invoice that we paid them.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Any other questions?
This is Carol from James Madison University. Speaking of the reimbursement, will it be aligned to the quarterly reporting? Like, will we submit an invoice to you quarterly, or do we submit those invoices as we incur expenses?
I think you can do either. There are requirements for the quarterly financial reporting, but I don't think there's anything to stop you from submitting an invoice after you receive and pay it.
Okay, thank you.
This is Kashef Majid from Mary Washington. A question related to reusing funds. So if we don't spend it in year one, it'll then go over to year two.
Yes.
And so also related to spending it for other purposes. Like, for example, I know that Sydney, you and I had talked about this earlier, but our compost provider provided an estimate for the bins that we'll need to purchase. But if we can get them used, then that we save money that way. So then we can reallocate that money, if I understand correctly, if it's less than 10%. But what's the process that we go through? Do we submit like a formal report? Do we do like a justification and a budgeting as to what we want to do with it? Do we set up a meeting? How do we go about doing that?
I think you can send it to us in an email and then we have to process it with our grants group. If it's a small enough amount that an email, it's like easy to explain, we can process it that way. If it requires some more, like, we might have follow-up questions because we're going to have to then explain things to our grants group, then it might be a call. But I think if it's something simple like that, and it's like for what you mentioned, if it's staying in the same category, I think it makes it easier because we don't have to switch the category of the funds. We just have to maybe add another line item, depending on what you're going to reallocate the money for. If you had extra in this, like if you had it in the supplies and it's going to stay in supplies, I think it would be simpler, but really we want you to spend it where it makes the most sense. We just have to work with our grants group to move the money.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
Go ahead, Amber.
Hey, Sydney, how you doing? I just had a question about the EPA cross-cutter checklist. George Mason was looking to do some early construction to kind of be ready for the fall dining hall, operations. So just wondering if there is early construction in our proposal, is that something that is, do you have an ETA on that, or can it be fast tracked if people do have early construction needs?
Yeah, so I can go ahead and ping EPA and ask them to prioritize your checklist. And if anyone else has like early construction on their radar, let me know and I can ask EPA to look at yours first.
I have a quick question. Do you know if design work is considered to be part of construction, or are they just talking about actual physical work?
I think it's just the actual physical work because they actually need some of the design information, at least like the location for the cross cutter.
Yeah, cool. Thanks.
Any other questions?
I have one more. Cindy, can you clarify okay, I actually have a specific example I was just thinking of. So when we applied for the grant before we got it, we had in mind a different type of food alert system, which unfortunately has kind of dissolved and is no longer something that we can use. So I know when I went to the workshop at VCU recently, a lot of some of the other institutions were using like the free food alert app. So the app's not free, but that's what it's called. And so if we had room within our budget to then use to pay for that app, which I think we're going to have, is that something that we would need to get permission from you first? Or is it okay if it fits within the fact that we have the funds to cover it already?
I think we would want a heads up.
Okay.
We're not going to say no to
Yeah.
that.
Okay. But just let you know before we consider that.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Any other questions? While I have you all, does anyone have a sense of before your first reporting period, so the reporting period is June 1st to August, the end of August, and then the report is due at the end of September. When would be helpful for us to have a meeting with you all about what exactly will be required of you for that report? Early August, end of August? Does anyone have a sense of when that would be helpful?
I think not end of August, if I can offer that up.
I would say the same. Yeah, because this is new. This is brand new to us. So this first reporting period might be better to have it early.
Okay. That was my sense, but I wanted to check in with everyone. I'll aim for early August, and then obviously we'll be around to answer questions as people work on it.
I just had one more question about the prevention, the food waste diversion prevention reporting. I know that you're working on the QAPP, but is there any draft we could see of like what kinds of data you're looking for? Because we may not have, like food rescue numbers, but we may have like food prevention numbers or early compost numbers that we want to add into it, and we just want to know how to track those properly for that.
Yeah. So before the QAP is approved, you can collect data, but EPA won't accept it. But that is okay. We are waiting on them to approve the QAP. So, but I will say generally, we have spreadsheets for compost. We would want weight data collected. If your institution is already composting, we also will need a number of how much you were composting before, so that we can take away whatever you would have been composting outside of grant funded activities. And then I will say for food waste prevention, most of the numbers that we will look for, if you're using a software tracking system, we will use the number that the software tracking system provides if it's like specifically used for prevention. And then for other prevention activities, it'll kind of depend on the software that's being used. So like for Free Food Alert, we'll ask you all to count the number of meals that were saved from an event. So you would need to work with event host to count how many meals got taken away. That is like one example. It depends on the type of project. And then we are working on getting an approved estimate of like if you are doing outreach and education activities. There's some research out there about like how effective those are. And so we'll ask you to count like number of people you engage with, and then we'll create like we'll have like hopefully an approved number of pounds that you can say for each person that you engaged with. So we're trying to make it as simple as possible for you all to collect the data and then for it to be similar across. Does that help clarify?
Yeah, and I think that's great until we get that, you know, the more details in that document. That'd be great. Thanks.
Any other questions that you all have right now?
Can I ask the group a question?
Go ahead.
I'm getting a little bit of pushback from my food and beverage people that if we do the Free Food Alert moving forward, that there's liability for us, and to some extent. So has anyone else received that feedback from their food and beverage company? Okay.
I'll hop in here. Is this for a recovery program?
It's a Free Food Alert, basically. So we have events on campus. It's, you know, saving that food, sending out the text, and then handing out the food.
Gotcha. Yeah, we definitely went through that with our food and beverage folks as well. We have chart files if that matters at all, but we utilize the Food Recovery Network. It is a national chapter where they kind of have a playbook essentially for developing food recovery programs. They have a ton of resources, and some of the resources that they have actually point to those issues, because they already know, like some folks complain about this, but there are some acts, and I think it's like the Good Samaritan Act or something else. There's a couple different ones that have actually been passed for this reason, that if in good faith you're collecting this food to feed people in need, you're following safe food practices as best that you can, that they cannot be held liable. So
Okay.
I highly encourage you, check out their resources, create a chapter. They just have fantastic resources, and that may help you a ton. It helps us a lot.
Okay, thank you so
Yeah.
much.
I was going to mention that Good Samaritan, it's called the Bill Emerson Good Samaritan Act.
Yeah, with Free Food Alert in particular, because you're not repackaging the food, you're not holding it for a while. I mean, really, it is just this. We're not even touching the food. You come and get it. You can put it, you know, in your containers or any plates that we happen to maybe still have on hand. I think that's also, you know, how they get around a lot of that is because they're not, nobody's handling the food prior to people coming and choosing to take
that's
it.
good.
It's not that different from someone at the event getting food for themselves.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you. That's great.
Carolyn, I don't know whether anyone from UVA is on the call, but I know that they do this at UVA, and someone presented on the Free Food Alert during that workshop at VCU. I don't know if anybody remembers.
Yeah,
I think that
we
was
use Free
me.
Food Alert. Yeah, there's Dana.
Yeah, I
think it
think
was
I
me
saw
and-
the video because when I started researching all of this, I went on, you know, all these and know way too much about composting. But I do think I watched the video on the website from
Yeah,
UVA.
And Free Food Alert has some built-in trainings related to Good Samaritan protections, but I just feel like the thoroughness, like it could be even more thorough. Like I think I felt confident as we move forward with Free Food Alert, but I could see why dining collaborators would just be like extra cautious. I think that as a training topic would be great. I put it in the chat, but I guess another note is
whether like the person who delivers that message matters. Like if our dining collaborators would be more confident hearing from like lawyers about like, like I just feel like I try to talk about the Good Samaritan Act, but I don't have enough confidence in it to be able to speak authoritatively. And if someone with that authoritative voice could share and directly with dining providers, that could be great.
And we have an in-house attorney too.
Yeah, this is a concern that we've heard from a lot of people, and it will be one of our training topics for sure. Harvard has a food policy clinic that has the whole like training and has done lots of presentations on this. So hopefully we will tap into that group. So that will be one of the trainings for sure.
Thank you. Thank you all so much.
Any other questions right now? Okay, well, if no one has any other questions, I will send out the recording to this meeting so you can share with anyone who wasn't here, and I'll send out the agenda. And as questions come up, obviously, please feel free to reach out. We are very excited to be kicking off these programs and excited that you all will be able to start implementing soon. But feel free to reach out if you have any other questions, and we can stick around for a little bit if anyone wants to linger after the meeting.
Thank you.
Yep. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks. Bye. Sydney, I'll stay on for a minute.
Okay, perfect.
Sorry, Sydney, I wanted to ask a couple people might still be here. Is there a connection? You had mentioned like the group of folks that are on this call. Is there going to be like a Teams group or something like that created where people can just ping each other with questions in a chat, or how do you want to handle that coordination?
Yeah, that's a good question.
I don't know. Sometimes our Teams is weird where it's like only internal. But chat might let us make a larger group.
Yeah, I can try to investigate and see if they're like, even if we could just have like a little like messaging board or something, so you don't have to like, it doesn't always have to be like a email to a bunch of people. That's a really good idea. I'll see what I can do.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So I just joined the meeting about 10 minutes ago, and Sydney,
Yeah.
I sent you a text, and I also sent you a couple of emails, and then John sent me the link.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I completely missed it, but you're recording it, so I'll watch that. Is there anything in particular that came out of this meeting that we should know right away, or I'll just watch the first 3/4 of it?
Yeah, I think that you should be okay if you watch the meeting. It was just like general like timeline and like reporting requirements, all things that were in your subaward agreement. And I'll send out, in addition to the recording, I'll send you the agenda so you can click through it. And if you have any like specific questions about any of it, feel free to email, or we can organize another call. But I'll send you the recording as soon as we're done with this.
Okay, that's all I had.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
And sorry, I don't want to, I didn't want to take up the group's time, but I think I just got 2 more questions, if that's okay.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. So a big part of our proposal was the composting with a local composting provider. And we're just finalizing our internal paperwork to kick this off. And we just wanted to make sure that the fact that it was a local and it was community engaged and regional partnership was a part of what you guys were looking for in this proposal. Because one of the things that came up from internally was, well, what about like, did you reach out to providers in Maryland and stuff like that? And we're like, I don't know if we want like, to truck in compost or truck compost away from Virginia into Maryland and into Pennsylvania and places like that. So was that like was there like a consideration for like the local aspect?
Yes. Partially because of the, reduced environmental impact of not trucking, like you said, compost further away, but also just by encouraging a local business to grow through your compost, they may soon be able to take compost from others in your locality as well. And, you know,
Perfect.
having more composters throughout the state is really valuable for all businesses.
Yeah, that's perfect. Is there a way, can you guys send me an email about this so I can put this in my in the documentation that I'm providing to our internal folks?
Are they concerned because it's like sole source?
That's part of it. I think that's part of it. They're kind of like, well, did you look for like the lowest bid? I'm not sure that we really got the like we were really emphasizing the lowest bid, but we wanted something that would include like schools. We wanted something that would include like a local farm. We wanted something that would include like you know, working with our interns. And so that's what we wanted. So yeah,
And
anything
we
you guys
wanted
can.
to like stand up the composting facility, for composting.
Also like the regional gap and like Fredericksburg not having access to composting was very compelling to us. And like we were trying to support the local business so that you guys could have an option. So yeah, I can like write up an email and like pull some of the language that we specifically had in the grant and the application, if that would be helpful.
That'd be super helpful. I mean, we kind of know we really don't want these trucks trucking from Maryland down to Fredericksburg to pick up. That kind of defeats the purpose of what we're doing here. But that's kind of where they're at right now. So yeah, anything you guys can provide would be super helpful.
You're using Black Bear, right?
Black Bear,
No, there's a new facility that they're trying that is located in or around Fredericksburg that is starting.
Oh, I thought you were UVA. I'm sorry. I was looking behind you and I thought, oh, you're UVA.
It's funny.
Campus.
There's a sorry, this is an aside. This has nothing to do with anybody here, any of you guys. But I'm currently involved with drafting policy drafting policy coming out of the U.S. Senate on Black Bear from a sports standpoint, because it's like a hockey monopoly. And that's something else. When you said Black Bear, I'm like, how did you know about that?
It's Black Bear composting. That's what UVA uses.
Black Bear, it's different. The hockey group is different. Anyways, thank you so much, everybody. I appreciate you all.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.
Take care.